let's be honest with ourselves, okay? Let's be real. You're not topping those songs. So don't go in there expecting it to be better than The Lion King, the original songs. They're not gonna be. Hey guys, welcome to Real Movie Lovers, a video podcast about real filmmakers having real discussions about real life. Topics include movies, TV, current events, tech news, and more. I'm your host, Lisa, and I will be your entertainment for today. We've got some interesting topics coming up, and I can't wait to share them with you. So, without further ado, let's dive into that. Yay! All right, so I recently checked out Last Christmas, which is a UK rom-com starring Emilia Clarke and I think his name is Henry Golding. He's from Crazy Rich Asians, which they're coming out with a sequel. I'm all here for it. Now, this movie follows, Emilia Clarke, who is Kate. She is kind of recovering from surgery that she'd had, serious surgery. She'd been sick for a long time, and she's kind of floundering a little bit, spiraling. She's burning her bridges with her friends, taking advantage, being a little selfish, ignoring her mother. And then she meets Tom, who seems to kind of really have an appreciation for the little things in life. And he kind of points her in certain directions about paying more attention to what is the people in her life and what's going good for her. Because far too many times it's easy for us to focus on the negative and kind of like it just layers and becomes an issue. And we kind of forget to appreciate the good. And because we're just so focused on like everything that went wrong. And my girl kind of has a bit of her own epiphany moment where she starts really coming back to herself and kind of rebuilding some of those bridges that she's lost. So I thought this was going to be a regular rom-com, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, you paint by numbers, fun, type of thing. And it ended up being more than that. It subverted my expectations. It didn't just rely on your usual tropes and the ones that you are familiar with, like Boy Meets Girl and, one conversation would solve all the problems. It uses those tropes and it really surprises you in how it comes out. I had a full extensive conversation with Poppy, a friend from the UK, on my Hot Take Tuesday Live. You can catch the recap on my channel right now. And it was a wonderful, awesome conversation. We dived into the themes, the characters, things we enjoyed. Everyone shined in this movie. And you don't find too many movies, especially rom-coms, where for the most part, every character, whether they were the main character or the side character, had their own arc. It is now one of the movies in my rotation moving forward. I will be watching this movie on a semi-annual, if not annual basis. That's how much I loved it. Love Actually is still my favorite UK rom-com, but Last Christmas, it's a nice second. So if you guys hadn't had a chance to check that out, check it out. And I say I love Emilia Clarke's eyebrows. Like, they deserve their own Academy Award. When she expresses, when she's feeling like super happy or sad, her eyebrows do this awesome drooping thing. I even remember seeing it in Me Before You, I believe is the other movie, which is based on a book, which I have read. Really good, kind of sad. And I know that most of you guys kind of know her from Game of Thrones, and that's how where you were introduced to Emilia Clarke. I was not into Game of Thrones when it was out. I came in very late to the party of Game of Thrones. So my introduction with her was when she did that Terminator sequel that I was not a fan of. And her face is so sweet and gentle that them having her try to portray the hardened Sarah Connor, I was like, Linda Hamilton really made it hard for anyone to step into that role. You have to have a certain level of badassery on your face for me to kind of take it on the chin, you know? But irregardless, the movie was great. It was cute. It was funny. And it doesn't go the way you think it's gonna go. It doesn't focus on the things you think it's gonna focus on, and it doesn't end the way you think it's going to end. So I'm not going to spoil this. Now, the Hot Take Live conversation with Poppy, which is her ad is how many films in a year. That was spoiler. That was spoiled. We talked a lot of spoilers in that. So if you haven't seen the movie and you want to see it, watch that first, then check out our conversation. Now, what have you guys been watching? I'm going to try to watch more. It's just, it's the holidays. It's been so crazy trying to get anything, you know, and I'm still trying to catch up on The Substance and Joker 2. There's so many movies I haven't seen yet. Boggles my mind. But be a dear and tell me what you guys have watched. What have you seen lately? TVs, movies. What do you recommend? Now, on to our first topic of the night. We're going to be checking out movie news. What's going on? Oh, Kraven the Hunter aims for a week $15 million opening weekend. Yikes. All right. Some of you guys know, some of you guys don't know, but Kraven is basically a villain from the Spider-Man Vogue galleries. Sony is the epitome of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. Venom, a side character, a villain of Spider-Man that by all accounts has been successful. The first one was successful, the second one, third one wasn't as successful as they expected it to be, but it was still pretty good. It grossed some money. So they were like, oh, bet. Let's go dive in and pull out more Spider-Man villains and side characters and make movies about them, but not include Spider-Man. I think Venom's creation is such a unique villain, and his approach to how he moves is so interesting, and most people know him, that a standalone Venom movie works perfectly. As we've gone forward, Sony maybe hasn't really understood that what works for Venom might not work with the other movies. Like Madam Web didn't do so well. Morbius didn't do so well. And now they have Kraven the Hunter, which already is projecting to pull in possibly less than Madam Web. And that was, box office wise speaking, a shit show. I have not seen the actual movie, so I'm not speaking about the movie itself, but just its performance. Although there's been a lot of chatter about it. I have to get around to seeing it one of these days. So Kraven is going to be an R-rated film. That, I think, may work in their favor. Because if this is an R-rated film and you are really running it like an R-rated film and you're not holding back, you could draw in a lot of eyes. So I am interested. I am a fan of Aaron Taylor Thomas, who is playing Kraven, as well as his abs, as per seen in the in the title of this article. I'm like, okay, that's smart marketing. I see what you did there. Congratulations. And I'm not mad at it, because if I had 6 or 8 pack abs, y'all would be sick of me. I'll be posting them everywhere. I would probably stand up right now and just show my 6-pack abs for no reason. So I understand. I'm not hating. I get it. Now, Kraven cost him $110 million to produce. It was originally supposed to be $90 million, but because of the strikes with the writers and the actors, it ended up being considerably higher. Whereas Madam Web was $80 million to produce. So that is a very strong contrast. Already, you're about $30 million in the hole budget-wise, which means you have to make even more so to compensate for that. Now, Kraven, this is the first R-rated movie for Sony, which, okay, sidebar on that. You do a Venom movie and you don't make it R-rated? It's Venom. You know how much fun you could have had with that? But I digress. Here we are with Kraven, R-rated movie. Okay. Maybe they learned. Now, Kraven explores the origins of Sergei Kravinoff. I am not a comic book alumni fan, so I may be saying his name incorrectly. Apologies. So it's the comic book alter ego, including it's about Sergei Kravinoff. He has a rocky relationship with his crime lord father, played by Russell Crowe. Well, you know what? They're doing smart things with the casting. And his quest to become the greatest hunter. You gotta set your goals. This is Sony's third Spider-Man adjacent superhero adaptation of the year. Yeah, because again, Morbius, that came out in 2022, which I still haven't seen. Venom is the only Spider-Man adjacent Sony film that I have watched. I watched the first two. I didn't see the third one. I think I tapped out after by the third one. I was just like, if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't. It got a little too silly for me. And then, okay, so Kraven drops today. By the time you guys are seeing this, by the time the release of this, Kraven has dropped. I wonder if it's going to subvert expectations because they're hoping that it brings in $13 to $15 million. But maybe the pre-sales aren't giving them the confidence that it will do so. Are you guys checking this out? Have you guys been fans of these Spider-Man adjacent films? In other box office news, Warner Brothers is dropping their anime fantasy film, The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rahim. I probably should have pre-practiced reading this. Okay, so this is the J.R.R. Tolkien's characters that are set 883 years before the events of the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy. And it carries a $30 million budget. Okay. Now it is animation, so that's probably why they're able to keep it low. No, it's not. Animation's expensive. What am I talking about? $30 million? Did they use AI? The film, however, has mixed reviews. And it's faltered last weekend in its international box office debut with just $2 million. From 31 territories. Now the reason, oh goodness, okay. That doesn't sound too good on a $30 million budget, but it still has to release. It's going to be released into more areas. The movie was developed and fast-tracked to ensure that New Line Cinema didn't lose the film adaptation rights. Why does this feel like Fantastic Four all over again? You don't want to lose the rights, so you rush to make a movie without taking the time to put in quality effort. And it's kind of basura. I'm talking about like the newer Fantastic Four, the one that came out with Michael B. Jordan in it and other people. The first couple of ones with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans, those were fun. Let's see. You cannot rush quality. I mean, you can try. Oh, what's the rule? Oh my gosh. It's like you can have it cheap and fast, but not good. It's like, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like where it's like you can only have two of the three things, like cheap, fast, or quality. I think I'm confusing it, but it's like if you want it cheap, it'll be fast. But if you want it quality, then it won't be something. But the whole point is it may have benefited them of taking their time with this to fully fresh out this animated story. But again, okay, so what happens if they lose the rights? Can they not just rebuy it? Would it not be more pertinent to just rebuy the rights if they're losing it? You'd spending more money, but you'd be able to take the time to develop a better story. But I guess if you lose the rights, the author, the estate, could decline your request to purchase it, and they could sell it elsewhere. So, okay, I guess it's a losing battle. Oh, and look at that. There are 2 new live action films coming in the Lord of the Rings universe in 2026 and beyond. Didn't know that. You learn something new every day. The first of these movies, tentatively titled Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, will be directed by and starring Andy Serkis. No surprise there. He kills it with that. So The Lord of the Rings, I love that world. I read The Hobbit in like high school. I really enjoyed it. I never read the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I did watch all the movies though, all of them. And this world is very interesting. These creatures, this whole story is interesting. These characters, I'm wondering if it would benefit them to kind of explore other characters within this world. The Hunt for Gollum. Okay. We'll see. And other movies are doing much better. Moana 2, that released is got the number 1 spot. No shocker there. And it has made $600 million globally so far. I guess I can't be surprised. Wicked, the big budget musical, has made $457 million worldwide. And it is already the highest grossing Broadway adaptation in domestic box office history. It beat Grease, 1978. And second biggest worldwide stage to screen rename. Oh, Mamma Mia is the first. 2008 Mamma Mia. That was a fun one. Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm going to the movie theaters to watch Kraven the Hunter. I am definitely going to watch Kraven the Hunter. I'll probably watch Kraven the Hunter before I watch Madam Web or Morbius, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I'm much more interested and invested in this story than the other two. And I like who they've been casted in these roles a little bit more. Are you guys going to see it? Am I alone? What are you guys thinking? Yes? Yay? Nay? What are we doing? On to the next story. Highly anticipated Final Destination sequel finally gets a release date. Yes. Okay. Final Destination is my favorite horror franchise to date. They currently have 5 movies, and 4 out of the 5 are Chef's Choice winners, which is that's a high count for a series that has 5 movies. I mean, Freddy has 10. Where's Freddy at? And Jason, 20. I think I had more fun though with Final Destination, except for the 4th one. I should probably rewatch the 4th one. The 4th one is the only one that I've seen one time. Every other Final Destination movie I've seen multiple times. Okay, let's get into this. So, Final Destination Bloodlines. Loving the title. I see what you did there. Appreciate it. Has finally set its 2025 release date. It's next year. This will be the 6th entry in the beloved franchise that began in 2000. Oh my gosh. I was in high school when this series came out. So it's going to hit theaters May 16th, 2025. Okay. I know I'm a little giddy all over the place, but this is my franchise, people. This is I love Final Destination. And the funny thing about these movies, I guess funny, scary thing about them is that you'll watch it and then all of a sudden you pay attention to everything in your life for a little while. Like, if that happened and that turned that could cause that to come down and mess everything up. It's just funny. Okay, so few details are known about bloodlines at this point, other than it will focus on first responders, a group of people that are already widely familiar with death. And they're tasked with outrunning the Grim Reaper. Okay, Grim Reaper. I can't talk. Okay, so we are targeting an older crowd, I assume. I think the first 3 movies were targeting, for the most part, high school students / college, and doing a couple of adults, obviously. And then the 4th one, I can't remember. I have to rewatch it. And the 5th one, I think they're in college, maybe, or out of high school. I can't remember. They looked really young. Are they supposed to be adults in the workforce? Either way, there doesn't seem to be any like high school, college school. This seems to be definitely like adults living their lives. All of them. Okay, so this, let's see, Breck Basinger. Any relation to Kim Basinger? Tio Briones and Caitlin Santa Juana. Okay, that they're going to be featured in this movie. I don't know who these people are, so I'll just post pictures. Oh, and the last screen appearance of Tony Todd, who died last month. R.I.P. He made it to the 6th movie. Was he in all of them? Let's see. I know he was in 1. I think he was in 2. I know he was in 5. I don't know if he was in 3 or 4. I have to look. I cannot remember. I'm pretty sure he was. I feel like he is that one character that is in all of them. But I'll double check that. But this is his last time. His last appearance as Tony Todd. Oh, man. And he managed to reprise his roles for the Candyman movie that came out a couple years ago as well. Dang. Oh, okay. I see. He was in Final Destination 1, 2, and 5. So they didn't have him in 3 and 4? I've seen 3 so many times. I guess I just assumed he was in it. Okay. As the only major studio release on May 16th, it will be up against the MCU flick Thunderbolts that releases 2 weeks prior. And in just its 2nd week, it will face off against the likes of Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and Disney's live-action Lilo and Stitch movie. Okay. So they have got to run it their first opening weekend. They've got to run it. So they're going to be following up after Thunderbolts, which 2 weeks after is not too bad. That gives most of the people who were going to watch it go see it within the first 2 weeks. So you get that crowd out the way. And then you release your movie. You have that weekend to yourself to get as much of the horror crowd in as possible. I will be there. I'm going to make sure I mark my calendar, opening weekend, me and Final Destination 6. And then right after, you got to deal with Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. And then Disney. Oh, no one wants to go up against Disney. Even on its worst day, Disney is still making bank. You know what I mean? It's still, even on its worst day. That's saying something. That is saying something. We expect a sharp decline in revenue in its 2nd week. You're damn straight. However, given the highly anticipated nature of Mission Impossible and Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, of course. Still, this is the best shot the movie has at being a success without delaying it. That's true. I mean, where else would you put it? Because if you put it in October, you already know it's October's horror month. It's going to be loaded to the brim. So this was originally supposed to be a streaming. You were going to stream Final Destination? Okay. As much of a fan as I am of streaming and loving the convenience of sitting in all cozy in my house with my budget-friendly snacks, watching a movie, there is certain movies that you want to see on the big screen experience with the crowd. Like, horror movies are so much fun to watch with the crowd. You guys are all gasping, screaming, and sometimes yelling at the screen. So I'm glad that they changed their mind about releasing some Max and are throwing it in a theatrical release. I approve this message. So now it says that Warner Brothers has been known to pull some shenanigans as of late, which includes canceling Coyote versus Acme. Okay. I'm seething about that, okay? Seething. As a child, okay? Nostalgic for Looney Tunes and the Acme products and Wile E. Coyote and all that stuff. You mean to tell me that there was a movie filmed, created, and edited where he is versing Acme? He takes him to court. The company that has probably screwed him over and has damaged him in so many ways because of their products not working well. And you deleted it. You deleted it for tax write-off. And then they had moved Salem's Lot to streaming, which I heard about Salem's Lot being on streaming. I heard it was okay. I think that if it had been put in theaters, I might have watched it. I still have to watch it, obviously. But I read the book, Salem's Lot, because I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I don't know if anyone's surprised by hearing this information. But I'm a huge Stephen King fan, and when I heard about them doing a Salem's Lot, I was like, yay! And then when I saw that it was on streaming, I was like, oh, I get to it when I get to it. Like, streaming removes that urgency to kind of see it. So I will get around to when I get around to it. I don't even know where it's streaming. Do I even have that service? I'll wait. Okay, where are my Final Destination fans at? Where are you guys at? Drop some skulls in the comment section or something. I need to know I'm not alone here. I love Final Destination. I love this whole series, and I'm so excited. This is one of those series where it's like, I could see me following it all the way to like movie 15. As long as you find interesting ways to take their everyday life and show me how it could effectively be your undoing, I'll watch. On to our next story. A bright new road for the future. Mufasa's first reactions may change your mind about the Lion King prequel. Do tell. That is a tall order, my friends. A tall order. Okay. Now, the Mufasa, the Lion King, first reactions are emerging on social media, and the response is surprisingly positive. Surprisingly positive. See, even y'all didn't believe it was going to work out. The response, okay. After the massive success of 2019's Lion King remake, a CGI retelling of the 1994 Disney animated classic, The World of the hit film, is not set to return a prequel. I saw the trailer. I did a trailer reaction, actually review, with my friend Fahad, my co-host. And I think we were both intrigued. We were both like, okay, this story is interesting. We have something here. Mufasa's beginning, how he came to be. And honestly, didn't realize, well, not this might have been canon, but didn't realize that Mufasa wasn't born into royalty, into the royal family, which would explain Scar's bitterness. Would explain it very well. Let's take a look. All right, so people are flocking to Twitter to express how they feel about the movie. View reactions have been generally quite positive. And people are praising the visuals, the fresh story, and Lin-Manuel Miranda's score. The dude is talented. He probably is 65% of the reason, at least, why Encanto was so successful and why I love the movie so much. The songs really sell it. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's check out some of these reviews, shall we? Yes, we shall. Okay, so Jazz 10K says this is the perfect prequel. So beautifully crafted. The songs by Lin-Manuel Miranda and the score absolutely divine and music to the ears. Pure joy. I'm going to try to say it without less, patronizing. I'm going to say it with a much better tone. Okay. We have Ian Michael I. Lee, who says Mufasa the Lion King is an unexpected, bloodthirsty prequel with stunning visuals and cinematography, but contains subpar songs that don't advance a contrived story. It's fine for those interested in learning about Mufasa and Taka's origins. At least the humor provides laughs and levity. Okay, so let's kind of think about what he's saying here. Bloodthirsty prequel. I did not expect a child's film to be characterized as bloodthirsty prequel, but it does catch my attention. It's got stunning visuals, so they did a wonderful job. They actually gave the animators the time they needed to properly produce a quality project. Bravo, Disney, bravo. And cinematography, but contains subpar songs. Okay, let's be real. No one is gonna be able to top I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Okay. Are the many, many other artists from songs like Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I mean, what do you no, even I know better. Okay, let's be honest with ourselves, okay? Let's be real. You're not topping those songs. So don't go in there expecting them to be better than The Lion King, the original songs. They're not gonna be. Are they gonna be good is all I need to know. They're not gonna top it, but are they going to be good? And a contrived story. Okay, that's a little hefty. Let's see what other people have to say. Dana Crombie says, it left me speechless. The story that deserves to be told that makes you question what is destiny. What else we got here? Laughingplace.com says, be prepared. That's another song. How are you going to top Be Prepared? You can't. Anyway, be prepared. Mufasa the Lion King occasionally suffers from a bout of prequelitis, but otherwise this movie functions as pleasantly diverting, though semi-tragic, family fare for the holiday season with just enough drama, adventure, and laughs to fill its slightly overlong runtime. Slightly overlong runtime. This is a children's film. We want to make sure we are keeping people's attention and not overdoing it with the time. Just saying. So Mufasa, the Lion King, directed by Barry Jenkins, who also directed Moonlight, which I believe won an Academy Award, explores the early years of the eventual ruler of Pride Rock, including how he and Scar, whose real name is Taka, transitioned from friends to enemies. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. So they were friends and became enemies. Now there's Martin Lawrence and I can't remember her name. Oh wait, Lynn Whitfield have that movie A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Well, there's also a thin line between between friends and enemies. Excuse me. And to know that his real name is Taka, and if you watch The Lion King, the animated original version, best version, Mufasa everyone refers to Taka as Scar. You don't even know Taka's real name is Taka until this movie. canon. Everyone is like, oh, his name is Scar because of the scar. Done. But even Mufasa, if they were friends before, right? And they had that falling out, whatever. The fact that in their older years, Mufasa is still calling him Scar and not giving them respect of calling him Taka says a lot. And if they're not going to tarnish Mufasa's legacy, they better be prepared to make Taka the ultimate villain. Now let's see who we got here. Aaron Pierre and Calvin Harrison Jr. lead the voice talent, as well as Mufasa and Scar. Other voices include Blue Ivy Carter as Kiara, daughter of Simba, and played by Donald Glover, and Nala, Beyonce Knowles Carter. It's a young Rafiki. Oh, we lost Rafiki as well. Zazu. I wish they had brought back Mr. Bean for Zazu. He did such a great job. Okay, so you got Seth Rogen in there. Oh, so we're gonna have Timon and Pumbaa again? Okay, Lin-Manuel Miranda penned the film songs produced by himself and Mark Mancina with additional music and performances by Lebo M. Okay. Even Lin-Manuel, oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm like so tongue-tied. Even Lin-Manuel Miranda can't come up with a song that tops the Lion King original songs. It's okay. It's all right. That is the gold standard of musical songs. Mufasa hits theaters December 20th. Oh, that's next Friday. I'm be rude, y'all. I didn't realize it was coming out next Friday. I feel so out of the loop these days. I think it's because I barely watch regular TV, where you'd have all of the ads constantly in your face telling you when something's coming out. And life be lifing. Life be lifing. All right, one more tweet. Mufasa is a fantastic prequel that outdoes the first photorealistic Lion King movie by a mile, with an original and engaging story, better facial animation, and fun songs. Let's be honest. The previous photorealistic live action Lion King didn't exactly set a high bar. So beating it, I feel like, is easy. Now, will this be a sequel that, of course, it can't be better than the original Lion King? I don't care what you guys say. I know I may be talking out my behind about nostalgia, but no, I know what I'm talking about. It's not going to beat it, but to be a worthy sequel, okay. And it ties nicely to the previous film story, and you get to see how it all started. Do these tweets and reviews change your minds about Mufasa? If you were already if you were already not feeling it or against it, do these give you a little bit more, pause? Do you want to see it now? Or are you kind of more on board? Like, oh, okay, let me see what they're working with. I was already, as someone who did not like the live action Lion King at all, and was very angry about certain song choices. When I saw the trailer for Mufasa, The Lion King, the prequel, I was like, oh, say less. I am interested. This is at least a new story. So you're not rehashing anything. This is a new story. It's a prequel. Prequels are a smart way to go with things. And you are diving more into the past of two very interesting characters. I'm on board to see what happens. I'm interested. I wanted to be angry. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to be like, no, I don't want to see it. I don't care. But when I saw the trailer, I was like, I guess it'll be something. So these do make me feel better. I haven't even talked to my family about seeing it. I know we're going to see Sonic 3, but we haven't even talked about Lion King because I know it's coming out this month. Are you guys seeing it? Are you going to wait for streaming? Let me know. Okay, now, In our remake reboot section that I have to create now because of how many are coming out, Austin Butler has been cast as Patrick Bateman in the American Psycho remake. Did you guys know they were doing a remake? Okay. So, co-written and directed by Mary Herron, the movie is based on the 1991 novel by Bret Easton Ellis. The cult classic film from the 2000 stars Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman, a Wall Street yuppie who leads a double life as a serial killer during the 1980s. A very fun movie. Very fun movie. So they are doing a remake. And after seeing Austin Butler in Dune, I feel like, I'll be honest with you, that he would make a good Patrick Bateman. I think he could do it. I definitely think he could do the masking of normalcy, but in with the psychotic part peeking out just beneath the surface. You know, I think he could nail that. There was rumors about who they were going to cast, and now that it's official, everyone's now laser focused on Austin Butler, who played Elvis, and it made over $280 million at the box office and earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. So I think he's got the chops to play it. The question is, will the story be worth retelling? What are they going to change? Are they keeping it in the 1980s? Are they bringing it more modern? Are they bringing it more into the 90s or the 2000s and telling and telling that theme through a different lens? Yeah, he's been in The Bike Riders, which I haven't seen in Masters of the Air. So he's on the rise. He is. Homeboy is on the map. Under the direction of Guadagnino. Oh my goodness. Luca Guadagnino. I apologize. This is the director. Luca Guadagnino. Sorry, guys. I'm not good at names, so I apologize. Feel free to mess up Lisa all you want. So he directed Call Me by Your Name. So they're saying because of that, his new interpretation of American Psycho may lean more heavily into like erotic themes. And he has also explored horror with his Suspiria remake in Bones and All. So the horror elements that are in the novel should remain. You know what? I need to read American Psycho. Now, the thing is, I have been told that it's a lot like it might be a slog to get through because it's a lot like Ready Player One, where they're just throwing in a lot of movie references and everything. However, as a lover of movie references, I might be down for this. So I think I'm going to check out the novel and read this before the movie comes out. Okay. It seems like every week I'm finding out or they're announcing a new remake. So this week, it's American Psycho. So the original one may have come out in the 2000s, but it was chronicling the 1980s. So my question is, this one that's going to be coming out in the 2020s, is it chronicling the 2000s now? In what ways are they going to bring it into like a modern take, or maybe not modern, but a different take, a branching off? And spoiler alert, unlike the original American Psycho, is the ending going to be open-ended? Or are we going to know for sure whether or not he is losing his mind or has actually killed people? Because in the original American Psycho, you're following him, the narrator, which explains why things don't always line up, because he's an unreliable narrator. And it leaves you at the end wondering if he's losing his mind or if he actually did kill people. You know, did they cover it up because he's rich? I don't know. With this remake, and with like even the Lion King, not just the Lion King, but always, live action movies, what in the beginning, when they first started doing this, we were like, oh yes, we're excited. We can't wait. Because we wanted to see from animation to live action or something that we loved to come to the screen. And we wanted to see it exactly how it happened in the cartoon. But that actually works to the film's detriment. Like in The Lion King, where they, for the most part, they did exactly the same thing. But they didn't nail it, super nail it, so it kind of pissed you off. With this, you're like, don't ruin the original, but make sure you do your own thing. Again, The Blob successfully did that. Ocean's 11 successfully did that, in my opinion. They took the premise of the original and they made it better. Or made it their own, is a better way of saying it. Will they be able to do this with American Psycho? I don't know. But I am here for it. I'm interested to find out. What about you guys? American Psycho happening for you? You want to see it? Interested? Is it going to work for you? Let me know. Drop a comment. Hit me up in the chat, DMs, all the fun things. Okay, now let's move on to our current event for the week. No one should have to be fighting cancer and insurance at the same time. Okay. This is just on the heels of that untimely death of the United Healthcare CEO. So this is kind of within that realm. We're following Arit Sukalas. Okay, guys, I'm horrible with names. I'm going to keep saying it until you guys really understand. I'm really horrible with names, so I apologize. She has spent hours on the phone arguing with her insurer while receiving infusions in the hospital because she needs chemotherapy treatment. She was diagnosed with leukemia 3 years ago. She's 26 years old, and she was stunned to learn that her insurer's coverage of the drug she needed came with a $13,000 monthly copay. What the hell? And she's a recent college graduate. She can't afford that. She ain't got that kind of bread. So she was forced to go without medication for 3 months when she was finally able to obtain it through the drug manufacturer's assistance program. So if I'm reading this correctly, her own insurance company that she is with couldn't help her. So she had to go to the drug manufacturer's assistance program to get help. What's the point of having insurance then? No one should be fighting cancer and insurance at the same time, she says. Agreed. Hella agreed. We live in a country where people are truly kicked down when they are at their weakest and most vulnerable, both physically and emotionally. I should have had this story come with a true warning because this is madness. Americans' pent-up fury with the nation's health insurance industry burst into the spotlight last week after the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Manhattan. They flooded social media with posts and videos about denials of medical treatments and claims. Okay, I have, I'm sure most of you guys have too, have been seeing online all of the comments, all of the posts, like some of them, some of the responses have been tragic, sad, infuriating, angry. A few of them found ways to find levity and throw in humor, because obviously humor comes from comedy comes from tragedy in a lot of ways. But it has been alarming to see how horrible the healthcare industry is in America. How bad it is, because you kind of get a feel for, like, it's not that the greatest, especially since we're like number 42nd in the country as far as life expectancy. In the world as far as life expectancy. I think that's the correct number. But then to really have it like in your face with thousands upon thousands of stories and comments about people who have been dealing with this, people have been suffering. Some people who can't comment because they've died because they couldn't get treatment. Monday, Oof. Yeah, so police this past Monday arrested Luigi Mangione, the suspect in this executive's killing. This is wild. So the majority of insured U.S. adults had at least one health insurance problem, including denial of claims. The majority. Not half, not a third, not some, the majority. When you say majority, are you referring to the 99%? Just asking for a friend. So, with many stories have talked about problems with having treatments and care denied, all the ones they were posting online, about receiving unexpected medical bills and getting the runaround when trying to resolve the issues, all while paying high premiums and out-of-pocket costs. Several medical providers also wrote of the hours they and their staff spend trying to get their patients' care approved. Everybody is working in tandem except for the freaking insurance companies. The doctors, the nurses, the medical practitioners, the professionals, the patients, everyone is trying to uphold, what is it, the Hippocratic Oath, right? The medical insurance should have their own version of that. Insurance on its own, I feel like I don't want to use the word scam. I also don't want to not use the word scam. So, double negative. Car insurance, you pay all this money, you get in an accident, and they either they cover it, sometimes they drop you. What was the point of me paying all this money to you if you're just going to drop me when I have it? Isn't this supposed to be what it's for, in case? Now, I don't say most cases, but in a lot of cases, it's more, you're not looking at life and death. Although, car insurance is that's right behind here for me as far as it needs a revamp, needs something, a restructuring. They need to be held to some kind of law. So Isaac Rosenblum, who's 43, doesn't know whether he has cancer because his insurer won't approve an MRI for nodules on his lungs, which were found on an x-ray when the resident had an appendectomy. Yo, that infuriates me right now. They won't even approve an MRI to find out if he has cancer? Are you kidding me? Do I have to wait until I start coughing up blood? Rosenblum says. Yeah, I think you have to. I think it's what they want. Then this dude's a paramedic and a father of 4. All he does is help people. Okay. Okay. Some Americans feel they have no choice but to get the care their doctors recommend, even if their insurers deny it, which can result in massive bills. How massive? Well, let's take a look here. Roughly 41% of adults had debt caused by medical or dental bills, according to a 2022 KFF healthcare debt survey. And for funsies, let's read the next line. A separate KFF analyst of 2021 census data suggested that people owe at least $220 billion in medical debt. That's in 2021. That's 3 years ago. Who knows what it is now? Let's find. Here's another story. After Melanie Duquette, 70, had extensive back surgery earlier this year, her doctor sent her to a rehab center to recover since it wasn't safe for her to be home alone. But after 6 weeks, her insurer said it would not pay for any additional time, even though her medical team argued that she should remain. She was afraid to leave because she still needed help getting out of bed and going to the bathroom and felt unsteady on her feet. So she stayed for 7 more weeks. And what was the result of that? A $14,000 bill that she can't afford to pay and may have to declare bankruptcy. How are we arguing as a country, as a people, with each other about trivial things when real stuff like this needs to be addressed and handled and worked on. Like, what are we doing? Adding to her anger, oh, you guys gonna love this. She paid several $100s a month for the best insurance plan her employer offered so she'd have more comprehensive coverage. I'm getting so worked up right now. Okay. She paid several $100,000 a month for the best insurance and still ended up with a $14,000 bill because they wouldn't approve of her for a longer than 6 week stay in which her medical team argued that she needed it, that it was unsafe for her to be home alone. Obviously, this is not first degree murder, but is it not accessory in some way? Are they not accessories to murder? Like, what am I reading here? They deny people care while they're making millions of dollars, said Duquette. This is what happens when you make human care, medical care, a profit system. I know that there are problems with universal health care. I know that everything has its own issues and own challenges, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the end all be all answer to everything. But we gotta do something other than this. This is not it. This is definitely not it. I don't know what we could do. I don't know how to make this better. I don't know how to improve upon this. I don't know. But we gotta do something. This is ridiculous. This is wild. Oh, you know what this also reminds me of? I'm saying this strictly off memory, so if I'm incorrect, maybe I'll put like the corrected version, down here. But I remember years ago when EpiPens were affordable, and then a lady came in and bought it out, or bought the company or something, and overnight she increased the price of EpiPens by like 300%. And she was allowed to do that and no one stopped her. There was no law that said that she couldn't do that. EpiPens are for people who have allergies, severe allergies, like a flare up that could, if they don't like get the EpiPen, it could kill them. Their throat could close up and they could die. And she was able to raise it 300%. Up is down, down is up. Like, how? How is there not more regulation in place? How? I don't know, guys. We got to do something. We have got to do something. This is wild. I don't know. I wish I knew. I want to do more than just yell into the ether and be angry. I don't know how to change it. I know policies and lawmakers is important. I know politicians serve some purpose as far as like helping to, I said some purpose. I mean, they serve a purpose to help with the quality of life. I think we need to get back to the quality of life versus the quality of sales. I don't know. I wish I had a more happier note to say, but I don't know. So, do you guys have any horror stories? Let me know. Or do you guys have any suggestions? Let me know. Or are we going to see more CEOs biting the dust because people are fed up and frustrated? We'll see. And finally, our tech story of the week. I know I said that I would try to find a more positive, fun tech story. And I feel like most of you didn't believe me. And you were right not to believe me because I didn't find one. Here we go. Tesla sued by deceased driver's family over fraudulent misrepresentation of autopilot safety. So In short, Tesla is being sued by the family of a driver who died in 2023 collision, claiming the company's fraudulent misrepresentation of its autopilot technology was to blame. The Tesla driver, Genesis Giovanni Mendoza Martinez, that's a very cool name, died in the crash involving a Model S sedan in Walnut Creek, California. His brother Caleb, who had been a passenger at the time, was seriously injured. So they sued. The family sued. Right now, I think it's moved to federal court at this time. The incident involved the 2021 Model S, which smashed into a parked fire truck while the driver was using Tesla's autopilot, a partially automated driving system. This reminds me of Upload that I was talking to last week. And that was talking about last week, the show Upload. So Mendoza's attorneys allege that Tesla and its CEO, Elon Musk, have exaggerated or made false claims about the autopilot system for years in order to generate excitement about the company's vehicles and thereby improve its financial condition. So in response to this, Tesla's attorneys were like, no. That's the driver's own negligent acts and or omissions. That's the problem. That's what caused the collision. There can't be reliance on any representation made by Tesla if any was not a substantial factor. They claim that Tesla's cars and systems have a reasonably safe design in compliance with state and federal laws. Okay. There are at least 15 other active cases focused on similar cases involving Tesla incidences. Wait, how many cases? There are 15 other active cases focused on similar claims involving Tesla incidences where autopilot or its full self-driving supervised had been in use just before a fatal or injurious crash. I didn't even know that injurious was a word. 3 of those have been moved to federal courts. While autopilot comes as a standard option on all new Tesla vehicles, owners pay an upfront premium or subscribe monthly to use full self-driving. We are definitely moving into a society where we own nothing. A separate conversation. But it's true. They want you paying monthly for the rest of your life. They don't want you to own anything. That's, again, separate conversation. So this is not a one and done. Sorry, this is not a exclusive event. Now, for some of you may be thinking, well, technically, if you look at the statistics for drivers, on the road, crashes happen all the time. So there being this low amount for a self-driving vehicle shouldn't surprise you. Human error is human error, and it happens. My question is, who do you blame when a self-driving car crashes? Because even though they're suing Tesla and it's going to federal courts, if Tesla wins, what does that mean? Does that mean that it's not yours? Tesla is not at fault? That you will be just gambling with self-driving? Like, okay, if it crashes, it crashes. It's a done deal for you? The crash at the center of the Mendoza Martinez lawsuit has also been part of a broader Tesla autopilot investigation by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which they started in August of 2021. During the course of this investigation, Tesla made changes to its systems, including over-the-air software updates. So it's not your fault, but you're making changes. Interesting. They're evaluating whether Tesla's recall remedy to resolve issues with the behavior of autopilot around stationary first responder vehicles had been effective. And the NHTSA has warned Tesla that its social media posts may mislead drivers into thinking its cars are robotaxis. And additionally, the California Department of Motor Vehicles has sued Tesla too The DMV of California is suing Tesla, alleging its autopilot and FSD, full self-driving, claims amounted to false advertising. Oh, like how Back to the Future had us all convinced we'd be having hoverboards by this time. Tesla is currently rolling out a new version of full self-driving to customers. Over the weekend, Musk instructed, I guess that was last weekend, his 206.5 million plus followers on X to demonstrate Tesla's self-driving to a friend tomorrow. It feels like magic. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like it. Okay. In all seriousness, who is at fault? If the self-driving function isn't as independent as they've marketed it to be, as they've led you to believe it to be, who is at fault here? Is Tesla liable? Meanwhile, competitors including WeRide and Pony.ai in China and Alphabet's Waymo in the US are already operating commercial robotaxi fleets and services. So they're already out there. You already have robotaxis and AI like driving you around, like in Total Recall. However, I guess Tesla's versions seem to have more bugs to be fixed. They I don't know. Would you guys ride in a robotaxi or like a AI commercial service? For me, the answer is no. I would avoid it at all costs. I would try to avoid it. It would have to be a very specific situation where I have no choice. Like we have no vehicle, the hospital's miles away, somebody's in labor. I would probably be on edge the whole time though. Like nervous the whole time. Do you guys think we're going to get to the point where like the majority of the cars on the road are going to be driven by robots? What are you guys' take on this? Does this make you feel better or worse? Okay, let me preface this. I am not trying to instill fear in people. I am not trying to go on this campaign of hating on AI. It just happens. No, I just want to highlight these stories to make us just aware of, just be, head on a swivel, be aware of what's happening, know what's going on, what's in the news with updates on, AI. Because without me doing this, looking for these tech stories, I wouldn't even know all of the things that are happening or the advancements that have been made. I would kind of be in the dark. And again, that would be on me. That would be on me for sure. But this forces me to kind of go and check out what's happening. So I like to bring this information to you guys to make you aware. And I want you guys to also know that for people who are lovers of AI and technology and robots and, doing all these things and helping us, I don't hate on you at all. Let me make that very clear. My distrust is with the AI, not with people who use AI. And I know that people are a fickle animal and untrustworthy as well, but I feel like there's still the fact that humans have souls and can have their minds changed is one thing. So again, I know these are just programs and whatnot, but still, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to follow along this case and see what happens. See if Tesla is liable, if the suit is won, as long as they don't try to keep it hush hush, because, if they lose the lawsuit, you might not really hear about it. It might be come to an agreement, a settlement of sorts. So let me know in the chat, guys, how we feeling about this. We excited to be in robo-taxis like Total Recall? Let me know. All right. And with that concludes our Real Movie Lovers podcast for the week. Woo! Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for being a part. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave comments. I'd love to engage with you guys and have these conversations about some of these topics, movies, TV, or if there's any topics you want me to cover, any news, feel free to let me know. Send me a link. I'll check it out. I'll feature your story for sure. I even credit you. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Until we meet again next week, hopefully things look good for Kraven in the box office. We'll see. All right, stay tuned. Bye. Spirit hands.